And here we go, guys. POPOPANDA, TROKAMOO, in a best of 5 with pre-bans coming up here. TROKAMOO does have the first pick.
Violent proc tower, as Obey Trey says, so we'll see if POPOPANDA has it on his side. I do think this is going to come down to the battle of speeds and then balancing with the battle of Molly and Vigor here. But of course, TROKAMOO does have Gianna's that POPOPANDA needs to play around. So TROKAMOO taking out that Okeanos so that POPOPANDA has one less option from the speed standpoint to fight him with.
Yep, very predictable pre-ban. We knew that Gianna was going to get pre-banned first. Okeanos getting pre-banned. TROKAMOO with the first pick. Does he choose to take something away from POPOPANDA, possibly gaining Hathor? And there is the Hathor being drafted.
Yeah, Hathor being drafted, and taking away the Okeanos means that the Chiwu-Gani combo is nowhere near as strong. So you see that POPOPANDA doesn't reach for that Chiwu, obviously also because Chiwu tunnels you into a turn 1 comp. You see a very standard Sierra-Gani opening.
Yep, that's right. And these standard picks, I mean, it's a very, very predictable draft. They stay standard. We'll see where one of them varies. The Chiwu and Savannah coming out for TROKAMOO.
And I love the picks of the Chiwu Savannah. This is something POPOPANDA uses a lot, but we haven't seen it from TROKAMOO much, but this is a very fast Chiwu and a very hard-hitting Savannah here. So TROKAMOO going with the aggression route. POPOPANDA's, we're going to see if POPOPANDA decides to go turn 2, and as you see with the Vertihile, is likely going turn 2 here.
Yep, more than likely a triple revenge Verd. When we see these Chiwus out there, it's very, very common to draft your triple revenge Verd. Multiple people have multiple Verdi heals.
So this is where pre-banning an Okeanos actually works against you a little bit, because TROKAMOO needs to play around the last pick Leo here, because he can't go full-on aggressive because there could be a last pick Leo. This Verd needs to be the ban here, but TROKAMOO needs to balance with that potential last pick that POPOPANDA has left.
Yeah, Vigor, Daphnis coming out of TROKAMOO, very aggressive to be drafting like that.
Yeah, interesting pick here. It means it leaves it wide open that Verd could be the ban or could not be the ban here. It's very hard to tell. And also, likely the ban, but at the same time, he's okay letting it through because he has aggression from the Daphnis and aggression from that Hathor there.
Yep, very dangerous with this Chiwu in the field and a Verdi heal, because that could just turn the tides immediately. We're seeing a Leebly being drafted by POPOPANDA.
We see the Blution being drafted, and at the same time, I think TROKAMOO needs to address this because he does not have immunity on his team, and Sion does come back once it's revived. So at this point, TROKAMOO does need to be aware of that, probably needs to just take that out because he's not going to be able to avoid an immunity. Sion actually chooses not to ban it. A very surprising move here. So TROKAMOO needs to take something out, needs to survive this Blution.
Thank you. Sion, that is correct. And you see the bans coming out there. Chiwu getting banned out here. Fran getting banned here. We can see speed leads just for POPOPANDA, though.
Yeah, so in this situation here, I think TROKAMOO is going to take out a unit with the Daphnis and likely take out or lock down others with the Savannah Hathor. It's going to depend on how much damage he takes from that Blution.
Well, speed lead for POPOPANDA, resistance lead for TROKAMOO going into round 1 with TROKAMOO and POPOPANDA. We already know who's going to be taking first turn here. POPOPANDA with that speed lead. Here we go. Ganymede, very fast, but everybody's going to be willed up.
Yeah, and a very fast Ganymede is actually very bad in this situation because it basically does nothing. And the proc's also not great because now it allows TROKAMOO an extra chance to proc here. So once this goes off on that Sierra, POPOPANDA is going to be exposed.
Yeah, Daphnis does get that defense break. Is it going to be enough damage to finish off the Sierra? And it is. That's an immediate 1 unit down for POPOPANDA. Not looking good. And the additional turn coming out of the Savannah as well.
That's huge. I did not like the risk of taking skill 3 in case of the Verd Revenge, but TROKAMOO does have a skill 3 from that Hathor coming up. So at this point here, POPOPANDA is basically just staring at a field here, watching TROKAMOO have his way.
That's right. I mean, we're going to see this skill 1 probably go out onto the Sion, looking to finish off this Water Joker.
Yeah, I'm not sure he wants to have that Water Joker revive here, but decides to go for it. That is immunity, invincibility, and immunity up, but that proc is huge.
Yeah, big proc. I think that was supposed to strip. Did not strip there. Vigor just looking to just poke damage here onto the Sion. We got the Hathor fast enough to get in front of it. Looking for the strip. Does not put it to sleep, though. Bombs are going to be coming out. There is no immunity. There is no resistance, even though he did go with that resistance lead.
Yeah, so Sion's going to be going down here, so it depends on how much damage those bombs are doing, but that Sion resisted a ton there. Might be 100 res, but quite lucky for POPOPANDA.
Yep, TROKAMOO trying to take advantage of that defense break sitting on top of Ganymede. There's the additional turn. Does get stunned up, though.
Yeah, and you saw that Hathor took about half health damage, so that's actually not quite enough here. I think TROKAMOO is actually going to be just fine.
Yep, we'll find out. Oh, there you have it, an immediate forfeit. And TROKAMOO taking round one away from POPOPANDA.
Yeah, POPOPANDA shaking his head there. He knew he got thoroughly outdrafted there. Sion was a great last pick, but at the same time, given the speeds of the units, the full will on TROKAMOO's side, that was very decided from the opening turns of the draft. That's decided by draft, not by play, and that was over from before the match started.
That is correct. That very fast Ganny, it didn't matter when everybody got willed up like that.
Didn't matter. The Daphnis blew up the CR there, and at the same time took out the Sion. The opportunity was right, and POPOPANDA just never found a way to get into it.
There was some oppressive violent procs coming from TROKAMOO, though. He did get some very lucky violent procs to help keep that weight on top of POPOPANDA.
Yeah, well, we'll see if that violent tower, as you're saying, goes to the other side here. But I really like that draft. I think if this continues this way, we might see a 3-0. I'm going to be very curious to see how POPOPANDA pivots. Last game, there was no Okeanos, so are we going to see a Chiwoo pre-ban from TROKAMOO's side? No, instead goes after the Hathor, and POPOPANDA takes out the Ciara.
Well, TROKAMOO knows how fast that Ganny is now, so that's something to definitely keep in mind. Hathor getting banned out, CR getting banned out, POPOPANDA with the first pick.
Yeah, likely going to take a Ganny. Ganny synergizes very well with the Chiwoo and Oki that he likes to lay behind. Instead, goes for the Chiwoo off the bat. So if I'm TROKAMOO, I'm thinking maybe let's take the Sierra, the Savannah, maybe let's take the Okeanos here to take away POPOPANDA's fast options. Or you can totally go turn 2 with some sort of Vigor Molly. Instead, goes for the fast units. Great picks, neutral picks, Okeanos Ganny.
Yep, double reset. We know how impressive that can be. Well done, TROKAMOO. In response, POPOPANDA has to protect himself somehow.
Yeah, and we also know from the earlier matches, TROKAMOO's Okeanos is actually quite tanky. So even if TROKAMOO has to rely on some sort of a Vigor Molly later, he can likely survive whatever POPOPANDA throws to him. So I like those 2 picks. POPOPANDA has committed to a Chiwoo, so he has to throw in some sort of damage now. Goes with the Savannah Fran.
Yep, Savannah Fran, it's aggressive. Is it going to be enough? He's got 2 more units after this one. TROKAMOO looking to respond after seeing Savannah Fran.
Yeah, so the Savannah with the Fran is quite dangerous, but if you remove the Savannah, the Chiwoo and the Fran together have a lot of dyssynergies. You have a stripper and then you have an immunity buffer, but the Chiwoo doesn't do anything on its own, and the Fran doesn't take advantage of the Chiwoo. So those aren't great picks, and of course TROKAMOO has that Gianna in his back pocket, takes a speed lead and a Gianna, great picks.
Yep, definitely like the Gianna. I was waiting for when we were going to finally see this unit. Vanessa being drafted by TROKAMOO. POPOPANDA looking to respond. Is it possible ban on this Gianna, or is he going to bring something to deal with it?
Yeah, and this looks like a tentative ban on either the Chiwoo or the Savannah from TROKAMOO's side here. POPOPANDA knows he needs a pivot to turn 2 because that's a lot of speed that TROKAMOO's presenting. So some sort of a Josephine and 1 more healer support would be a great pick. Instead goes for the Water Monkey, which tells me that Gianna has to be the ban here because there's too much immunity that POPOPANDA has on his side. TROKAMOO is likely going to take out that Chiwoo wanting to go first, but he can think ahead and know that as Gianna's gone, maybe he'll leave the Chiwoo in.
Yeah, very curious to see here. He brings out a Diana. Even a Leo isn't too bad going into these 2 water units and a Savannah, but we're going to see a Diana coming from TROKAMOO.
Interesting choice of the Diana. I actually would not have minded seeing a Molly pick here, but I think a Diana is also perfectly fine. That tells me he's leaving both water units in, and that's exactly what happens.
Yeah, well, Diana's getting banned out. Chiwoo's getting banned out here. We do have the Gianna going through.
So unless this Josephine does a lot here, you're going to see a Gianna open up, followed by a Ganny Oki lockdown here.
Yep,
so
that's double reset. You can see 33 speed lead coming up for TROKAMOO. That 33 speed lead may be enough to stop POPOPANDA. Let's find out as we go into game 2 with TROKAMOO and POPOPANDA.
Yeah, and again, POPOPANDA being on full will is a huge disadvantage. TROKAMOO does have Ganny Oki lockdown, so this Josephine is going to need a proc. Gets a resist on that Savannah, though.
Yeah, Savannah does get to keep her immunity here. Not getting stunned up. You can see that their second scale getting the strip provoke and stun onto the Okeanos as well.
It's a pretty massive resist from POPOPANDA into landing onto the Okeanos there. A huge turn of events because now that Savannah is going to be able to give speed buff and defense break.
That's right. Seal of Magic coming out on Fran. POPOPANDA's form of sustain. Looking for some defense breaks here, and it does land on everybody. Except the Vanessa, of course.
I think TROKAMOO needs to think about dismounting this Savannah right now because it's going to do a lot of damage over time with that speed buff.
That's right. There's that defense break sitting on top of Savannah. Savannah going to be able to get out of this. I'm not too sure if it's going to be on violent or not. Massive damage coming towards this Gianna. Now he does have the passive of that Vanessa, and he can reventilate with the Scanny.
And there's a skill 2 coming out from the Water Monkey, so that's going to be a lot of damage. There are defense broken units everywhere on TROKAMOO's side.
Doesn't stun up the Ganymede, though. You can see the bomb's going to be coming out. Could put it on the Savannah now, because the reset did go on the Fran. I don't believe Fran has second skill up just yet.
And TROKAMOO needs to vent the Vanessa with the Gani so that he's going to be able to cycle with the Gianna to get the strips on. So TROKAMOO is actually in a decent spot here, but needs to get the Savannah dismounted.
Yep, there's the ventilate back on Vanessa. We get that passive up. We have that defense break sitting on top. Vanessa's going to take advantage of it. Does not drop it off that Beast Rider just yet. We've got a third skill here with the Water Muck King. Can go to eliminate the Gianna. It's going to get revived back up here. Gets the additional turn. Can drop the Okeanos. That's defense broken here. And doesn't drop it just yet. But I think Fran can finish off that job here.
Yeah, that's exactly what Fran's probably going to do. Actually decides he wants to attack break the Gianna. Interesting choice.
Yeah, very interesting choice. Not enough to drop this Gianna just yet.
Yeah, at the same time, TROKAMOO not looking very good. Either of these units are going to die in one pop. That Josephine does have skills up, so Gani Oki lockdown is not going to work here because this Josephine is going to be able to turn around and kill that Okeanos.
Yep, that's right. He could go for the Rain Stone. Does go for the Rain of Stones. Looking to stun up everybody. Doesn't even get the Wind unit Savannah, but does knock it off the Beast.
Yeah, so TROKAMOO's going to lose another unit here, and this is going to be pretty much game over. This game was decided the moment that Gianna missed that stun on the Savannah from the opening moves. Had that landed, POPOPANDA would be under control, but RNG goes in favor.
And there is the additional turn coming out of the Fran. Fran's able to sustain up here. Vanessa looking to pummel some damage in here. Does get the additional turn. It is not going to be enough here.
Definitely not going to be enough, but TROKAMOO knows this is a best of 5 and knows as a now seasoned veteran to take his time and think through his picks and how he could play it, draft a little bit better next match.
That's right. Seal of Magic coming out on probably the Fran. Stop the immunity, stop the sustain coming up here.
Yeah, but it's a pretty tall order to ask a Vanessa to be able to take down 2 water units, especially those 2. So TROKAMOO taking his time. It is SWC. Winner goes to the finals here. So definitely important to think through every single move.
Yep, definitely has that thinking cap on. You can see TROKAMOO definitely deep in thought, trying to figure out what he wants to be doing here. And round 2 is going to POPOPANDA.
Yeah, again, I think TROKAMOO actually had that on draft. He had the Gianna moving first, and then he had a Gani Oki lockdown. It came down to Savannah resisting, which allowed him to defense break and provide speed buff to his entire team.
Yep.
So had that 15% not gone through, we would see TROKAMOO up 2-0. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on whose side you're on, RNG happens, and now we're tied at 1-1.
It's definitely sad when you see that strip from Gianna not working because it's so oppressive, and for it not to happen, it's very disappointing for the owners of a Gianna.
I know that all the non-owners of Gianna are probably cheering when it misses, but I can tell you that all the owners of Gianna definitely feel that pain a lot.
That's right, pre-bans from last time. You can see the Ciara getting pre-banned by POPOPANDA. TROKAMOO with the Hathor pre-ban for last time. New pre-bans coming in here. Gianna once again is getting pre-banned, followed up by the Okeanos getting pre-banned by TROKAMOO. TROKAMOO does have the first pick.
Yeah, and if you think back to the first match, TROKAMOO did very well on draft there, so I wouldn't be surprised to see the exact same run out happen from TROKAMOO's side. I would expect to see POPOPANDA vary his draft a little bit.
We'll see. TROKAMOO with that Hathor first pick. Of course, POPOPANDA is going to be splitting that Gani Hathor, bringing out a Chiwu as well.
So in the first match, you saw a Ciara pick, and now you actually see a Chiwu pick here. So Savannahs are live, and if he potentially has Chungpungs and other AoE units, those are live. Choka has to take the other speed lead, goes with the Ciara, and we likely will see some other fast unit and maybe take out the Savannah away from POPOPANDA.
I really would like to see the Ciara coming out of TROKAMOO here. I'm curious if he's going to land. It looks like he's really trying to think about what he wants to do, possibly to surprise POPOPANDA, bringing in the Savannah and the Vega.
I think a Vigor is a very fair pick, but it incentivizes POPOPANDA to take Ciara, which is a decent pick against all of TROKAMOO's units. TROKAMOO's Savannah does synergize with the Vigor, where the Vigor provides a speed buff and allows it to hit a lot harder. But at the same time, TROKAMOO has 2 units that give him speed buff, so it could be a little redundant there. Ciara's definitely a pick, and then you see the Fran to give protection. Decides he doesn't want Fran, which would be interesting, but I expect some sort of heals. He's probably thinking some support, some heals, or just straight aggression.
Water Monkey King, interesting. I knew he was going to be picking up that Ciara. I don't know how you don't pick up Ciara when TROKAMOO wasn't drafting any speed leads himself. So snagging that Ciara up, chooses to go with that Water Monkey King, which is very interesting. TROKAMOO looking to wrap up his draft here.
Yeah, POPOPANDA actually representing a very scary draft here. I think TROKAMOO needs to ban out that Chiwu and just let POPOPANDA just resist a bit from POPOPANDA, or just kind of let things go beyond turn 1. He's going to be content to give up turn 1 because POPOPANDA is so highly invested in it.
And there's the Fran coming up for TROKAMOO. A lot of sustain on TROKAMOO's side of the field, and the Diana getting locked in as well. POPOPANDA with 1/5 unit here.
So TROKAMOO is going to ban out that Chiwu here. It absolutely has to be banned out. We see the Ethna take, so what we're going to see is an opening from the Water Monkey and Ethna into a reset on the Ganny. So a lot of control and aggression coming from POPOPANDA side. Not sure if TROKAMOO has enough in the back pocket to be able to survive that much aggression.
That's a lot of damage coming from POPOPANDA. And the newly buffed Ethna, very, very strong unit. Even for a unit having Vigor on the field as well, Ethna's still very strong.
Yeah, that Vigor might melt off the bat, but we do have Savannah and the Fran, so if that Savannah's not dismounted, it might be able to win the game outright.
All right, we'll find out. Going into round 3, TROKAMOO, POPOPANDA. Let's see who's taking the first turn. I believe first turn's definitely being taken by POPOPANDA. And we see this Ethna being faster than the Ganymede. We knew that Ganymede was fast before. This Ethna's even quicker.
Absolutely. When you're tuning a team this way, the Ethna and the Water Monkey have to move in front of the Ganny, and that's exactly what you're seeing. You're seeing 2 holes being opened up, and Ganny's going to be able to reset both, presenting POPOPANDA with a lot of control.
Yep, here comes the reset onto the Fran. Wants to stop that immunity attack buff coming up. And there it is. Drops the attack bar. Attack bar resisted on the Savannah as well. Diana possibly looking to shield up, maybe even a stun.
I think Diana does need to shield up because otherwise he might melt. But now he does decide to shield up and has Vigor to provide speed buff, which will allow him to come back into the game.
That's right. Bomb does land onto the Savannah. He could be stunning this unit up. There's no will protecting it right now.
Yeah, but the Ethna and that Water Monkey are going to go next, and they do a lot of damage with that defense break from Ethna and the Water Monkey.
Bomb gets detonate. Stun does happen on the Savannah. No resistance there. Looking for a stun onto Ciara. Does receive that stun. Possible attack break going out onto Ciara. Maybe attack bar reduction on the Ganymede.
Yeah, that's a huge stun on that Ciara because its cooldowns do not recycle. But again, that Ethna and the Water Monkey King, it's going to come down to how many defense breaks land and how much damage happens.
Ooh, everybody takes on a defense break here. Can Vigor get his? He's got that 3-turn defense break. Possibly coming out onto the Ethna as the unit of choice here. Big second scale could stun everybody up because there's no will up yet.
Yeah, there's definitely no will up yet, but at the same time, this Diana can move and take out this Ethna, so that's exactly what's going on in POPOPANDA's mind right now.
Yeah, crossing his fingers for stun. Does land the glancing onto this Diana, though.
And the question is, do you go for it? He decides he does not want to go for it. Can go for it another time here. Wise, safe, conservative move. Can cleanse the Savannah and then go to work here.
And there is the cleanse on the Savannah. Could capitalize on top of everybody here. Gets a defense break onto everybody. Vigor with a skill 1. Onto the Water Monkey King, does get a heal block.
And you're going to see Savannah move in front of every other unit on the team here, so POPOPANDA is going to lose a unit, if not 2, because Diana does a lot of damage and Savannah's going to take out another one.
Yep, here we go. Diana looking to drop this Ethna, finishes off that Ethna here, because it's going to cycle back. Does it? Violent proc is going to be the question on everyone's mind right now, and it gets that additional turn, not stunning up that Water Monkey King, and here we go. We're going to see more damage and another unit drop from TROKAMOO, going right after that Ciara, and here we go. He's going to concede right there. TROKAMOO taking round 3 with that devastating Diana Violent proc.
And you see TROKAMOO using the cheeky stay in human form skill 2 on the Water Monkey and actually saluting the camera after he wins there, knowing that he won that match very confidently. He's feeling it right now. He thinks he has a good chance, and honestly, given the way that these 3 drafts went, I like TROKAMOO's odds.
TROKAMOO had a very, very strong draft. Like I said, it was that Violent proc going out of Diana, and it happened. It's just so impressive with all those defense breaks from Savannah, capitalizing with units that can help cycle and even keep your team alive with all those shields. Diana did exactly what she needed to do.
Yeah, and that's TROKAMOO understanding how not to get popped and how to have enough heals and the ability to play back. I think POPOPANDA's units did not do enough damage for the way he played, how aggressive he played, and ultimately that's why TROKAMOO was able to come back. Once that Savannah came online, it was game over.
Yep, that's right. Well, we've got game number 4. TROKAMOO can win it out if he does take this round. He's got Gianna in his wheelhouse now.
Definitely does have Gianna, which is huge. If you saw how game 2 went, if that same draft comes out, TROKAMOO wins 85% of the time here, resist being 15%. So we'll see if POPOPANDA decides to change up his strategy.
Yep, smart. CR is a very smart ban. You don't want to let that CR Gianna through. POPOPANDA wants none of that, and the ban on Hathor does happen for TROKAMOO as well.
And so POPOPANDA took Chiwu first last time. I don't think he's going to take Chiwu first this time. Would be very surprised because TROKAMOO would respond with the Ganny Oki, which again makes it very challenging for POPOPANDA. Instead, he still goes with that Chiwu. I'd be surprised to see anything different.
Yep, there's the double reset for TROKAMOO. Can he land it? Can he hold off? Can he take this round 4? We'll find out. Very good drafts from POPOPANDA. I like this Josephine, and I like the Savannah coming from him.
So POPOPANDA's decided to move the Josephine up 1 position in draft, which actually is quite a smart move here because he's able to basically, he's telling TROKAMOO that he's going to let that Oki through, and he's going to be able to counter that a little bit earlier as opposed to later. TROKAMOO not phased by this, goes with the Gianna, goes with the Changpong. I would have actually liked to see a speed lead coming out of TROKAMOO because he can have a flex 5th pick on what he wants to supplement his team with, because now without a speed lead, he's almost forced to take out this Chiwoo.
Well, we'll see. I mean, he could draft Vanessa. I'm not too sure if Vanessa is really going to be helping POPOPANDA. It does synergize really well with having that Savannah on the field. So curious if he might go with that, having another speed lead to lock in, because clearly a lot of controls coming from TROKAMOO's side of the field.
Yeah. So TROKAMOO is banking on banning out that Chiwoo a lot. POPOPANDA is going for turn 2 now. So takes the Fire Monkey, which we saw earlier. But at the same time, I think TROKAMOO has the edge here. He has first turn initiative and can take turn 1 if he wants. So I wouldn't be surprised to see some sort of ban on Chiwoo, take of Barbara.
I was going to say, Barbara would be an excellent unit coming from TROKAMOO.
Or maybe some other pick, maybe even a speed lead of his own is fine, or some, I'm thinking either Water or some other's speed of his own, or Water's fine here. So Vigor's great, allows him to play back a little bit. When he does this though, it's signaling a ban likely on the Savannah, or likely on, it could even be the Josephine, and he could go off here, but...
Yeah, Josephine Chiwoo chooses to go for that Savannah, and Viga's going to be the unit to be banned out here. No more sustained for TROKAMOO. Keep that in mind, where POPOPANDA does have that Fran, he does have that Josephine, that's shields, that's healing. POPOPANDA does have a little bit safer of a draft. Can TROKAMOO control with this double reset? We're going to find out, guys, as we go into round 4 with POPOPANDA and TROKAMOO. POPOPANDA definitely taking first turn here. He's got that speed lead. He's got that Chiwoo. Chiwoo looking for a full strip attack bar pushback on TROKAMOO and doesn't land a full strip. The Okeanos is still going to be remaining with his immunity.
And actually that Gianna resisted that pushback. So Gianna's going to move in front. Huge proc because he's able to turn the attack bar of the Gianna down. So quite lucky by POPOPANDA. And also immunity attack buff makes it very hard for Oki skill 2 to go through.
Ooh, looking for the reset onto the Josephine. Fire on water. Doesn't work as always. And here we go. Defense break onto the Gianna. Gianna was provoked. Forced to go right back to that Josephine. Gianna not looking good right now, not healthy. Full strip coming out of Changpong right there. And the reset going on the Josephine.
So great reset on that Josephine, and actually now POPOPANDA's going to eat a Gani Oki lockdown and a Gianna and a Changpong going on it. I think this is looking highly in the favor of TROKAMOO here. He has that full control. Josephine is reset. There's nothing POPOPANDA can do but watch as his opportunity to go to the finals and $2,000 goes away.
Well, let's find out if that's going to stand true. He's able to finish off that Josephine. Josephine's going to be gone here. Changpong coming in with a second skill, gets the additional turn as well, capitalizing off that defense break, sitting on top of this Fran, and we're going to see a skill 1 coming from Gianna onto the Fran, looking so good for TROKAMOO.
And TROKAMOO's clapping excitedly. He knows he's got a trip to the finals here. POPOPANDA staring, knowing he's out. He knows it's over.
Yep, there it is. Gets that additional turn, finishing off that Fran there. Double bomb does land on top of the Fire Monkey King. Looking so good. TROKAMOO taking round 4, going to the final.
And TROKAMOO can't believe it. He's got his hand on his head. He's got his head on his desk. That was a lot of stress he went through, but such a well-drafted. He's praying right now, saying all kinds of prayers, but congratulations. That was really well played, masterfully drafted. There was nothing POPOPANDA could do about it. I mean, it all came down to draft.